From scoring goals in front of cheering crowds to struggling to find a place to sleep, some NHL players have faced a tough journey. In this video, we'll see how some hockey stars, despite their success, ended up homeless. We'll look at the factors that can contribute to this situation, the resources available to help retired athletes, and what we can learn from these stories. Back in the glory days, Joe Murphy was the #1 pick in the NHL draft, a Stanley Cup champion, and rolling in money. But as time passed, his story took a heartbreaking turn. He ended up living on the streets, without a roof over his head and struggling to get by.
You know, every square inch of the area, I've walked it maybe 10 times over, 1,000 times. And
Joe's dramatic downfall raises important questions about the support system for athletes and the long-term effects of playing the game they love.
Murphy in! Murphy scores!
Joe Murphy doing what he does best, the speed down the wing. Murphy waiting up ahead. He scores!
Joe Murphy's journey started with a lot of hope. Drafted first overall in 1986, he was the future of hockey. He even led Michigan State to win the NCAA championship. When he moved to Detroit, things were tough at first, but when he joined the Edmonton Oilers, everything changed. Playing alongside Wayne Gretzky, Murphy shone bright. He scored goals as part of the legendary Kid line and helped the Oilers win the Stanley Cup in 1990.
I can't believe it all worked out, man. It's just something I can't believe. It's a dream, you know. I feel very fortunate to be in this situation, and I'm gonna cherish this moment forever.
Murphy's success continued for several years. However, whispers of concussions began to surface. In 1991, a crucial moment emerged in Murphy's story. He got hit really hard into the boards while playing against his old team. Even though it was a bad hit, he kept playing. But after that, he did some strange things like missing easy shots. He wasn't told he had brain trauma at the time, but later, doctors said his problems were probably because of all those head injuries. The potential brain damage wasn't the only factor. Murphy's sister suggests it impacted his behavior, pushing him towards drugs and alcohol.
He was starting to do drugs, and he was starting to drink. He made these decisions to do these drugs. If he didn't have a brain injury, he wouldn't be doing these drugs.
Sadly, many athletes turn to these substances to deal with pain and stress. With each year of concussions and using drugs or alcohol to cope, Murphy's mental and physical health likely suffered. Here's where Murphy's story gets really sad. Unlike some other sports leagues, the NHL doesn't admit that there's a connection between brain trauma and CTE. Even though doctors like Dr. Charles Tator say it's important to keep players safe, it seems like the NHL doesn't care. There are even emails from the NHL's PR team making fun of people who are worried about this. This makes players and their families feel like they're on their own.
He made these decisions to do these drugs. If he didn't have a brain injury, he wouldn't be doing these drugs.
Especially when it comes to getting help as they leave the game. Even though Murphy made over $15 million during his time in the NHL, he's apparently only getting about $100 each month from his NHL pension. Despite his past wealth, Murphy has been homeless since early April 2018. He's had to stay in different places, like a homeless shelter on Canadian Tire property, and even in the woods along Highway 17, which is a big road that goes through Kenora. The contrast between Murphy's earlier success and his current financial struggles is striking, especially when you think about his potential back in 1985. At that time, people saw him as the next big thing in hockey, comparing him to legends like Dale Hawerchuk and Mario Lemieux. Murphy himself acknowledges that he earned between $15 million and $20 million over his career.
you know, I have an idea. Sometimes it's on the Lotto Max number, but it only gets up to about 15 or 20 million. And half of it, a lot of it went to taxes. But I helped a lot of people too. I'm very, very, very generous and kind.
He admits to making mistakes and expresses regret over not making better financial decisions.
He could make a play at full speed, but what people didn't realize was how fast he was. He was strong on his skates. He had a quiet edge to his game. But
Murphy's story is deeply sad, but sadly, it's not the only one. Many former NHL players have been diagnosed with CTE, a serious brain disease caused by repeated head injuries. People like Rick Martin, Derek Boogaard, and Bob Probert are examples of this. Their experiences highlight the long-lasting effects that have often gone unaddressed. Murphy, however, found a purpose in sharing his story. He hoped it would serve as an exemplary tale for players considering playing through injuries or self-medicating. His struggles raise important questions about the support system for athletes after retirement. Did concussions play a role in his later struggles? Were there resources available to help him manage his finances and transition smoothly out of the game? His story compels us to demand better from the NHL. The NHL needs to do a few things to take care of its players better. First, it should admit that getting hit in the head a lot can lead to serious problems like CTE. This would help keep players safe while they're playing and after they retire. Next, the NHL should spend money on research. This can help find better ways to prevent, find, and treat brain injuries in athletes. It's also important to have better rules in place. Making sure players get proper evaluations and time to heal after a concussion can stop them from getting hurt again. Lastly, the NHL should help players more after they retire. They can give them resources and advice to transition out of the game smoothly and handle any health issues from their playing days. If the NHL does these things, it shows they really care about their players and makes the game safer for everyone. The NHL has a lot of power and money. Just think about what could happen if they decided to focus on taking care of their players. 3 years ago, Eric Lindros, who's in the Hall of Fame, and Dr. David Mulder, a top sports doctor, suggested that each team should put $1 million into researching brain injuries, but so far, nobody has listened to them. This lack of action not only ignores the safety of players, but also says something pretty scary, that the excitement of the game matters more than the health of the people who play it. However, there's some hope in all of this. Fans, the media, and former players are starting to put pressure on the league to do better.
Former hockey players being tested here in Buffalo for the brain disease CTE. And that's exactly what these other former players say they're dealing with now, and they want to hold the league responsible.
Lawsuits from ex-players are also making the league take notice. Additionally, there are programs like the NHL Alumni Association's Break Away from Silence campaign. This program is all about talking openly about the mental health issues retired athletes face. These efforts are steps in the right direction toward making things better for everyone involved in the game. Joe Murphy's story is heartbreaking, but it can also inspire us to make things better. By demanding better protocols, more money for research, and better support for athletes, we can make sure that young hockey players don't end up like him. The future of the game depends on taking care of the players. Will the NHL step up and become a leader in keeping athletes safe? Or will stories like Joe Murphy's continue to cast a shadow on the sport? The answer lies in the league's actions, not its silence. I'd love to hear your thoughts. What lessons do you take away from his experiences? And what changes do you think are needed to support athletes better? Share your insights with us in the comment section below. And if you found this video insightful, consider subscribing to our channel for more engaging content.